Okay, so picking up where we left off. Up here, I've got my Disney Infinity figures. I'm going to have them all on display up here eventually. And behind that, I've got my Mattel Electronics games. So I've got baseball in the box, and I've got basketball loose behind it. I've got my Nintendo Game & Watch. I've got my Game Boy Colors, Atomic Purple boxed, the silver Pikachu, and Game Boy, the green one, my original. And I've got my Pac-Man energy drink. I've got another one, I just haven't drunk it yet, so I'm going to eventually get all the energy drinks with it too. And I've got Disney Sea. Then these are all my 360 games on both shelves, but we showed the other one earlier. Up here, I've got some more Disney Infinity stuff and a Spider-Man in the back. I've got my Lego Joker, my Crash Bandicoot, my Sonic, and my Rubik's Cube, which is something I think every game collection should have if you want to collect stuff, because that's just, I think, a historic piece of gaming that should be in there. I've got my plush Psyduck. I've got my Mario thing in here. I've got a little Scribblenauts Maxwell thing. I've got some mushrooms. I've got tins and lots of Mario stuff going on in there. Over here, I've got my Pac-Man Fever lunchbox, my Game Boy carrying case. This owl is just to keep the cats off. I've got my Atari 2600 on this shelf. I got a lot of new stuff. I've got my Super Mario 64 camera, which is actually a camera. I've got my Brave Little Fox Collector's Edition. I've got my Donkey Kong Country cartoon show on VHS. I've got my Super Game Boy and my Game Genie. I've got my Mario figurines. I'm trying to get the whole shelf of Mario figurines. Super Nintendo games down here, and some Blu-rays on the bottom, which will be replaced later. And I got my PS1 games on the side over here. For now. That's not going to be permanent either. Okay, I've got my Wii U games on the top and over here, and the rest of my 360 games there. I've got about 50 computer games behind that shelf, but I'm not going to get into that for time constraints, and it's dusty, and I don't hardly play PC games. I've got my ColecoVision here, and then I've got a VCR there. My 3DS games. I've got my original DS, DS Lite, and my PSP on this shelf. Then I've got my regular DS games here. And then the last part, well, second to last part, is my actual game setup. Now I have the majority of these actually hooked up. My Atari 2600 is hooked up. My NES is hooked up. My Sega Genesis is hooked up. My Wii U, and PS3 is hooked up. Or PS4, sorry. 64, 360, Super Nintendo, all of these are hooked up. The PS1 is not hooked up because the PS2 is backwards compatible, which is down here. And all three of these are hooked up, except the GameCube, it's not actually plugged in because the Wii is backwards compatible. And then I've got my PS3 down here, which is hooked up. And my Dreamcast, which is not hooked up because I'm sharing a cord between it and my original Xbox as of now. And in the sides, I've just got some controllers and stuff. I'm actually hoping to upgrade this so I can hold more consoles because I need an Intel Vision, I need a 7800, and a lot more. And the last part of my tour is the newest part, which I'm calling the Hall of History, which is basically just posters. Oh. And there's Andrew. I've returned. So I started off, this is just like the start off. This isn't even really part of it, this is just part of here. But moving on down, I'm going to grab the light. Moving on down, I got the Year of Luigi poster, which I'm working on this shelf now, and I'm going to have put some shelves above each of the posters and have boxes and stuff above it. Down here, I've got my Mario Kart 8 poster, which this is where my History of Zelda poster is going to go when I get it. Down here, I've got my History of Donkey Kong poster, my Mario History poster, and then a matching Mario poster to go along with my Luigi poster. On the other side of the wall, I've got my Pokemon Through the Years, which is like a Pokemon timeline from 1998 all the way to 2013, which is really cool. And I'm going to have some shelves up here with some of the Pokemon movies and boxes as well. And that is my 2014 collection tour.